All right, lads, the lotto is upon us, and I understand that not everybody's going to have a prime ideal setup. Ignore the CEs for right now. I'm going to explain why those are there in just a second, but because not everybody can just run in and do buster farming, not having to worry about the 1, 2, 3 node that we have right now, I wanted to give an example of how you can get a little bit creative and still get your way through the lotto without needing to have, say, Oberon or having to have Koyenskaya, stuff along those lines. Now, first and foremost, you might be wondering, CTL, why do you have a bunch of random CEs on all of these backline people? Well, the lotto just started, so obviously I don't have any of the CEs, so I'm going to take the wasted AP plunge to get this guide out to you guys. And the reason they're all 5-star CEs is to demonstrate the actual team cost, to kind of show you what rarities are going to be able to mix and match here, because the lotto CE, ideally, you want to have all of your units loaded up with the lotto CE. So they're all 5 stars to simulate the cost. Now, I also made sure to not give Arash over here the Buster CE or something that would give him NP damage, something along those lines, because I want to show that he can still clear wave 1. It's only a 40k enemy, and Arash's average NP damage is around 26k with both of the Castoria attack buffs. Even if he doesn't take out the first enemy, he's still going to get in the range that anybody's face cards, obviously not his own, because he's going to, leave after he fires his NP. Anybody else should be able to mop up the enemy. Maybe not Castoria's, but I still imagine Arash should be able to, take this enemy out. So we're going to load in here. Obviously, this is first run, but I have to do this all the time on JP because I also do not have Koyenskaya, Oberon, any of those nice bells and whistles over there. So sometimes I do have to get a little bit creative in what team comps I have to bring, especially for the 90++ nodes, as I've still been able to do all of them, although some of them I don't consistently farm, I will admit, because some of them can get a little annoying with RNG and face cards. Now, you will need to have your Arash's third skill level 10, because it's imperative that you do have the 30% battery, but you do not need to max out his append skill. I've only done this for other specific nodes. This one, you just need to unlock it. You just need that 10%. You don't need to take it all the way to skill level 10. Although I do think it's a very good idea to skill 10 your Arash's battery append skill. It's just very useful because then he essentially has a 50% battery when he enters the stage. So what you're going to go ahead and do is you're just going to go ahead and pop that battery. You're just going to get that going. Again, don't need to max limit break it. But then what you're going to do is you're going to fire all of Castoria's skills over here. You're just going to give them all to whoever your main looper person is. Ideally, you want them to either be a really strong looper or somebody that, again, like Space Ishtar or Summer Kama, let's say, has like a really huge 50% battery. I would say you could try to use a really strong Buster Servant if you do have them, like, say, Tesla, but unfortunately, you don't get any refund on their NPs because Buster Servant, duh. So, you could try to mix and mash, a team comp where you're just bringing guys with big batteries, and the starting CE does give you 30%. So if you have 3 guys that have 50% batteries, you max out their append skill. Even without the maximum broken event CE, you'll get to 100% if you want to do that. If that's something that you're able to do, if you have all those guys, that's another way to get a little bit creative. But as you can see, you don't actually need this to be, skill 10, because now we're at 110%. Doesn't really matter, but just if you're maybe lower on QP or something, or you just don't have the materials for whatever reason, you are able to kind of avoid doing that. And so Arash over here will do tons of damage, right? He'll go real crazy. And like I said, yeah, even if Arash himself doesn't take the enemy out, maybe you get a really low roll. Although I don't think even if a low roll, I'm pretty sure it'll still be in the range of the guys being able to take it out. But yeah, see, like even a lower roll there, Castoria's Buster card's able to take it out. Like, that's what I'm saying. I do all this all the time with the boy Arash. You can get a little bit creative as well, because as you see, Castoria comes in after he takes out the first enemy. If, let's say, you want to put Castoria in the line where, say, Hercules or where I have Ongar Mainu is, and maybe sub them in for another looper or for another support, because maybe you're using someone like Summer Masashi. Summer Masashi, I do think, could get to above 50%, and let's say you have a Waver, you have a Reigns, you have a Scotty, you can then bring them in, and then they will be able to get your Summer Masashi above 100%. And Summer Masashi shouldn't be too bad for this. If only we had the buff that she has over on JP, and she would just absolutely annihilate these people. My Summer Masashi, I think, is NP2, to. Maybe I will tack it on to the end of this video to kind of give an example of just a strong looper that doesn't have a battery, and kind of being able to, you know, keely place your unit so that whenever Arash tags out, they bring somebody else in, which again is why Arash is still aim number one, still a very, very powerful servant, right? The ability to chunk an enemy and get rid of them, clear a wave, and then bring somebody else in is always going to be supremely powerful. And so, you know, Space Ishtar over here will be able to watch these guys take them out. And again, yeah, it's not very pretty, but we are close enough. You know, we do get over 50%. Again, that's why when I did the event guide, I was able to say pretty confidently that if you have a 50% battery arts unit to enemies, you should still be in that range. If they were berserkers, it's not as good, but again, if it's pretty much anything aside from zerks, you should be absolutely fine. Now, as long as we don't get completely shafted over here with, okay, we did get the arts card. I was like, we should be able to clear this just fine. I mean, even my, you know, plug suit 2 over here is at like fully maxed and broken, and we really don't have any leg room to, you know, hit with face cards. So hopefully our girl Space Ishtar over here will put in a little bit of work for us. We obviously could use Castoria's NP for extra damage, but I just slapped K-Scope on there just to kind of slap it on there. I'm not using it to say that, oh, you got to make sure that you're really, you know, getting your Castoria in there. But keep in mind, your Castoria, her NP will be around, what, at least 60% if you don't have your pen skill done. And so that is just needing to find 2 arch chains if you are more reliant on using the NP. Although, not really going to be able to do that. I don't see how you're going to be able to do that if Arash is your wave 1, so you can't really do a arch chain. But I guess if you max out her pen skill, get her up to that 20%, technically you'll then be at 80% and only need to find an arch chain on wave 2. So if you are more reliant on that NP giving you extra damage, that is something you can do. And, you know, in fact, I think I will go try to show the Masashi team comp and see if I can get that to work. Just a note, if you are going to do this, you have to kind of sub out your low rarity servant for MASH because you run out of team cost, because Waver's another 5-star servant. But this should work out, I imagine. Berserker Masashi, Summer Masashi being able to hit over 50% is not impossible at all. Her refund is really, really good. Again, it is 2 enemies, but I think she's going to be fine. And if she's not fine, I'll still leave it in just to kind of show, oh, well, that did not work out very well. But I do want to kind of do it a little bit for, you know, research purposes, see if this will work. But I have faith in Summer Masashi. You know, I'm always a huge proponent of her, you know, not being dookie dog water just because you can't quote unquote use her in 90+ nodes. But let's see if we can make her work. You know, if she's able to work in here, then more power to her, right? It's just like, hey, she's a crazy unit. Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. I think this person has their pen skill done on their Castoria. Yeah, as you can see, they have that. So you could have your Castoria at 80%. That's what I was talking about earlier. After they fire their own charisma, just make sure you don't make sure you don't bring in Waver by accident. I guess it doesn't matter too much if you bring in Waver, I suppose. Should be absolutely fine on that front. But okay, we're gonna go ahead and fire Arash's NP again. Whoops, yeah, almost did the arch chain, bro. Almost did the arch chain, almost messed it up. But yeah, we should be chilling with this one. I believe in her. I think she's got it. I think she's got that dog in her. I think, does my Summer Masashi have her pen skill done? Because we didn't have to do the second skill for Castoria. Let me double check. Let me double check and make sure I didn't do her pen skill. I can't like undo her pen skill, to be fair. Did I do it? I did do her pen skill. Okay. So just know you would just slap that on her anyway. You don't, the pen skill is not needed if you have someone like Summer Masashi, someone who's like a really, really strong looper. But see, when Arash goes down, we could bring in Waver. So even though we're not going to hit 100%, we functionally give her a 50% battery, you know, like we're kind of giving it to her. And see right there, we'd be able to do an arch chain as well, because we have 3 arts cards from Waver. We have Masashi's arts card from her NP, giving us an extra one on the deck. And then we have 3 arts cards from, you know, Castoria over there. So being able to find an arch chain is not too impractical. And yeah, look at that. Why was I even doubting her? Why was I even doubting her? She's so good, man. You can't use Berserker Masashi in 90+ nodes. Yeah, nah. Hogwash. Absolute tomfoolery. You know, let's just give it that little bit of extra attack. Why not? We brought him. Let's just bring it in there for extra damage. Now, obviously, you know, her damage will be a little bit lower because she's not going to have Black Grail on her, right? But still, looping 70%, I don't think losing Black Grail is going to bring her from 70% to 40%, especially with how insanely broken her second skill is for looping. So yeah, it might not be doing 999,000 damage, but again, you only need to do 182,000. You don't have to do that much damage. So yeah, I hope this is helpful for some of you guys to give you some ideas for how you can farm this one. Again, I'm personally not going to be going super hard on this first day, or not first day, but first couple of days, I suppose, because, you know, this doesn't have the best drops when it comes to the Lotto currency, but I do think even if you're not going to go hog wild with all of the apples and everything, it's still completely worth doing, and at least using your natural daily NP, or like logging in the morning and then logging in at night to get some extra runs in, because it does give you all of the shop material, and you want to use the shop material to go ahead and try to bag those CEs that are in the event shop, so that whenever the good nodes do come out, you don't have to waste some time or be a bit quote-unquote inefficient when you're trying to go in there. You can just jump right into the farming. But I hope that you guys found this helpful. And just like to do this for more of my newer players or people whose boxes aren't as good. You know, maybe you didn't get Oberon a little bit ago, because I could do a guide, you know, be like, here's how you Buster Loop is, but it's just Buster Looping normally, right? And this one is so easy for Koyanskaya because Martha has man attributes, so you functionally just bring a free power mod as well on Martha. It is so free. I'm sure you could do this with most servants, right? Again, before someone's like, I'm going to use Spartacus. I don't know if Spartacus can do it. I would imagine maybe he could, but I'm not gonna on video say, oh yeah, guaranteed he's got this one in the bag, but you know what I mean. It's really easy to do. But if you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, leave your comments in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what setups you guys are going to be using. If you're trying to bond anybody specifically, do know that this team comp in particular, because we are rocking a bunch of 5 stars, is very cost heavy, so you might not get to bond up specific people, but you know, let me know all that in the comments down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.